Hello guys, this is a new video in a new series on my channel where I'll teach mostly about scripting in Roblox Studio, but I'll also teach some basics about Roblox Studio along the way. You're most likely here because you want to know how to make a Roblox game because you've seen lots of other cool games on the website and you want to start with the basics, and I'll teach you those basics. And if you've made a game before, which you most likely haven't, it'll show up in the My Games tab. But if you want to make a new one, you can just press new and you can see all the templates that Roblox has given you. Like, for example, here's an obby one to help you start making an obby. Here's a combat one that will help you make a combat game if you want, but in this tutorial you should just press base play, and when it's fully loaded you can see that there's just a massive grey base plate, and the base plate always starts when you click the base plate template, and you can put stuff on it, you can delete it, you can do lots of things with it. And to look around like how I'm doing in Roblox Studio, you just hold down right click and then just drag your mouse around, or mouse pad, or like thingy, trackpad, whatever you have, and you just turn around. And if you want to move around in your game, you can just use the W, A, S and D keys, and to zoom in and out you use the scroll wheel on your mouse. And if you don't have a mouse, then tough luck, you can't zoom in and out. And right now what I want you to do is in the home tab, you know, there's lots of options here, but I want you to press part. And here you can see there's a new part on the base plate right here, over here. It looks really nice. And here, these are different tools. The select tool, you know, is just when you select parts. So there's the move tool, the scale tool, and the rotate one. And I'll tell you what these three do. So you can select the move tool by just clicking on it, or you can press Control 2 on a Windows computer. I don't know any of the shortcuts for Mac, so whatever I'll tell you, like whatever shortcuts I'll tell you, will just be for Windows only. Basically what the move tool does, you can see there are different handles that you can use to move your part around, and just press Control Z to undo anything that you did. And the scale tool, you know, just press Control 3 or select it, and you can also see different handles, and it basically scales your part across the different axes. Like the red one, it scales across the x-axis. The green one, it scales across the y-axis, and you know, the blue one scales across the z-axis. And if you want to scale like two bits on the same axis at the same time, and just hold down Control and then drag it along, and look, see, then it'll equally scale it. And just undo that. And the final tool is the rotate one. Just press Control 4, click on it. Pretty self-explanatory. You can use these, I don't know, wheels to scale, to rotate your part around. You know, like, see, like, the blue one, it basically, like, it rotates it forwards. The red one, it rotates it sideways. And the green one, it lets you scale it all around. So, like, let's first do that. Like, you know, you can, like, turn it 90 degrees, 80 degrees, whatever. And if you go into the model tab, you can change how far, like how many studs you can move apart across. Like, a stud is basically, you know, these tiny squares on the base plate. It's a measurement. So like 0.2 studs, I can change that to one stud, for example, and then I'll just move it one stud, but I'll change that back to 0.2. You can also change the amount of degrees like a part can turn, like when you pull the circle thingy once. Yeah. And when you select a part, you can see there's a properties window right over here. You know, basically changes the properties of a part. Like, say for example, if I want to rename my part, I'll just scroll down to to data, because like name's part of the data. And then I can rename it to brick, or I could just double click it, like right here, like, yeah, you saw that right. So, and it's important to name your parts, because like you don't want it to be a confusing name where you'll forget about it. Like, for example, say for example I name it hamburger, and there's loads of other parts in the workspace, like, and then you'll just get confused because you'll probably forget, and you'll be like, hamburger, what was that? And plus, like, if there's lots of other parts that have the same name, then you'll get confused. Like, if there's lots of parts in the workspace with part, then you probably won't know, like, which is which. And I'll teach you some other shortcuts as well, like for example Control D. That basically duplicates the part. You probably can't see the duplicate because it's inside the other part, so I'll just move it and like, whoop, there's a clone of the part. I'll delete it though. And wait, excuse me for a second, I'm trying to... No, I don't think there's like much shortcuts that you need to know at this stage, and I'll talk more in depth about the properties, because right now I've just been talking about changing the name. You can also change the brick color, like the color of the part. Like, I'll just change the color to new yellow, and then it gives it a sort of deep yellow color. And color's basically the same thing, but you have like more control over the color of the part, because you know there's, if you can see closely, there's a lot more colors, but I recommend you just use the default colors that Roblox has given you. And the transparency is a property of a part. like say for example I change it to 0.5, suddenly the part has turned translucent now. And if I change the transparency to 1 or above, it just becomes invisible. And transparency is always at 0 by default. And the material, this basically changes the material of the part. Like right now it's just plastic. I can change it to neon. See, it looks really cool right now in my opinion. Oh, you could change it to slate, which gives it more of like a rough texture. And you can use these different materials while building. Like for example, if say that you want to make large rocks, then you'd probably use slate. And if you want to make lasers in an obby, then you'll choose neon. And like you get what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's just change it back to plastic. And now here's where the coding part comes in. So you want to click the plus icon, and then you want to insert a script into the part. And a script, it basically allows you to code pretty much anything, I guess. And by default, it will always say print hello world. And I want to show you what it does, because print is actually a pretty cool function, I suppose. Like, make sure you go into the view tab and you make sure that output is like, yes, selected, so you can see the output. And when I click the run button, then look, see, it'll say hello world. Yeah, over here. And the text inside the quotes, that's what's called a string. It's basically a piece of text. It's a data type. So like a hamburger, go and print that. Look, see, just it says hamburger in the output now. So basically what the print function does is that it prints messages to the output, and that can be useful if you want to like see if something works in your code, and then you can make it print something if it works. But right now our main goal of the lesson is to change the color of this part to really red. So first we want to reference the part. So like the program knows what we want to change the color of. So we write game.part. I mean yeah. Sorry, I mean game.workspace.part, because the part is inside the workspace. The workspace is the parent of the part, and the part is the child of the workspace. The same as like that the script is the child of the part, because it's inside of the part. Because you know, you can click the arrow, you can see all the children inside, if there are any children in. And instead of saying game.workspace, the Roblox made a thing where you can just write workspace, and it basically means the same thing. So workspace.part, and we want to change a property of it. Its brick color, which is part of its appearance. So workspace.part brick color. Sorry. equals, because we want to make the brick color like equal to something. Brick color dot new, because we want to change the brick color into something new, and brackets, and then you can see lots of colors, like for example baby blue, black, brick yellow, but you can choose any color you want, and you have to make sure that it's a string though, otherwise it won't work. Really red. And if we click the run button, you can see that you've changed the brick color of the part to really red, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, you can do you can change other properties as well, and I forgot to tell you about some other properties of a part, like for example the anchored property that basically tells us if we want a part to be still or not. Like for example, if we click the run button, then look, see, we have a floating red part, and it's floating because it's anchored. That means nobody can move it, and it'll just stay still. And when we untick the anchored property, you can just see that it plops very satisfyingly onto the base plate. And here's another general property that I'll tell you about. It's called can collide, and basically it's saying like if something can go through it or not. So let's just fast move it onto the ground, and you click play, so like you can have your character test the thing that you made. Looks, you, because it's can collide, looks, you, we just walk over it because, you know, can collide set to true. And if we untick it, which basically makes can collide equal to false, and when we go in, then when we go through, then when we walk to the part, we can go through it, which is it's really cool. And I'll just help you change another property of the part, because you can change lots of properties about once. And say for example you want to change the transparency of something, so of a part, we do workspace dot part dot transparency equals whatever you want it to equal, and I want it to change it to 0.2, so it's semi-transparent. And then when you click the run button, you can see brick color is really red, and transparency is 0.2. Yay! So in this lesson so far, I've taught you about the basic tools and some basic scripting, like really basic. And yeah, there'll be more videos coming soon. And there's this game on that I recently made. It's called Welcome to Weirdblocks, and I'll link it down below. You'll get free admin as well when you join, and basically that's it. So like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and comment down below like some feedback or something like that, and just bye for now.